Most people believe Stranger Things is officially finished, final season, final scenes, end of story, but the more closely you look at what the show actually presents, the harder that conclusion is to accept. Not because of hope or fan attachment, but because the ending itself feels slightly wrong, not broken, not bad, just unsettled in a way that's difficult to explain. And that feeling is important because the creators have already confirmed they did not film multiple endings, no secret versions, no alternate finales, which on the surface should end the discussion. But not filming multiple endings does not mean everything shown was completely real inside the story. It only means there is one ending on screen, and those two things are not the same. Because many viewers finish the finale with an odd sense that something didn't fully line up. Nothing obvious enough to point at, but enough to leave a lingering discomfort, like a puzzle piece that almost fits but never clicks into place. And that's where this entire idea begins. What if the ending we watched wasn't the true ending of the story, but a constructed ending shown to the characters themselves? And the first clue is small but impossible to ignore once noticed. The basement where the kids played Dungeons and Dragons at the very start of the series appears again later, but the door handle switches sides, which isn't a lighting issue or camera trick. It means the room is mirrored or recreated, and in a show built around reflections, inverted worlds, and parallel realities, that detail matters. Then there's the puzzle experience, released alongside the season, where each episode unlocked a piece, and the latest puzzle centers on the word graduation, with an image showing exactly 12 people wearing sunglasses, the same number of people Vecna took, which pushes this beyond coincidence and into pattern territory, raising the question of who is shaping what we're seeing if it isn't fully real. And the story quietly offers two answers. The first being Will, who is directly labeled an illusionist in the end credits, not as a metaphor but as a role. And throughout the series, Will has been the character most tied to perception, sensing changes, and feeling distortions, making him the most likely to still be affected if the Mind Flayer didn't die but evolved, while the second possibility is Mike, because earlier we're told X never marks the spot, but later that rule flips and we're shown that M marks the spot instead, with binders arranged to visually spell out that X is a lie and M is the marker, suggesting Mike may be interpreting events through something altered, not lying, but seeing a future filtered through a vision, spell, or manipulation, meaning the finale may not be fake in the sense of being meaningless, but fake in the sense of being a projection designed to make someone stop fighting. And this idea doesn't stay contained within the show because Netflix didn't treat the finale like a clean ending, instead continuing to post strange, cryptic material, including the Squawk radio station, which wasn't just referenced but actively used, featuring voices and moments that feel half in-universe and half outside it, with host names like Mindy Flair and Vance Goodman that clearly echo Mind Flayer and Vecna, followed by a trailer dropped without context that at first seems harmless, until you notice a Stranger Things poster in the background, and reality behaving oddly throughout, with people glitching, time-bending, and scenes feeling stitched together rather than flowing naturally, making it feel less like promotion and more like distortion, reinforcing the idea that the finale is not a clean conclusion, but a stabilized illusion meant to feel safe and finished. And the question becomes why Netflix would keep feeding the mystery if the story were truly over, which leads into symbolism hidden in plain sight, like the game reference Ghosts and Dragons, which connects directly to King Arthur, a chosen leader who doesn't understand the scale of the threat until it's too late. A connection strengthened when Mike worries Holly may be taken, and we're shown Arthur's rule and A Wrinkle in Time, while The Sword in the Stone plays in the background, a story about a wizard transforming into a monster, suggesting Vecna may not be the final threat but a stand-in, a wizard rather than the dragon, with the real enemy being something older, a red dragon capable of invisibility, illusion, and mind control, leaving behind glowing red scales that act as psychic conduits, tying directly into A Wrinkle in Time's theme of reality being warped so thoroughly that people stop resisting because everything appears perfect, which aligns with the unexplained spiral symbol in the Upside Down, linked in Dungeons and Dragons lore to a god that conquers not through force but through manipulation and distortion, leading to the central idea that the finale may not be the end of the war, but the illusion that convinces everyone it already ended, with Vecna evolving from physical attacks to showing a future where people stop fighting because they believe they've already won, a future either Mike or Will is seeing where everyone has settled into comfort and conformity. And what's striking is that while everything else changes, one image remains constant. The painting of the Red Dragon, which mirrors the Truman Show where a manufactured reality slowly reveals itself through small inconsistencies, repetitive behavior, and emotional anchors tied to the color red, a color that appears everywhere in Stranger Things, from red scripts and playgrounds to distorted memories and radio dials shifting from blue to red, with the show even telling us we're seeing events through the eyes of Vecna's next victim. And just as Truman begins to wake up through staged announcements, Stranger Things presents moments where reality feels scripted, commercials slip in, and Murray delivers an admitted scene mirroring Truman's awakening, reinforced by repeated exit signs appearing behind characters throughout the finale, a symbol that only ever means one thing: a way out, suggesting subconscious markers left inside the illusion, which brings us to the unsettling question of who has already found the exit and who hasn't. Made even stranger by a poster released after the finale showing characters looking directly at the audience or with red eyes implying control, while the WSQ radio broadcast lingers longer than it should, and some fans claim to hear a faint, distorted voice saying, followed by the Hopper scene set 18 months later, where Hopper speaks to Mike about sacrifice and self-punishment, then looks directly into the camera during the line, "You push people away and suffer because you think you deserve it," before returning to the scene like nothing happened, a moment too precise to ignore in a show that rarely breaks eyeline accidentally, especially when the line applies not only to Mike but to nearly every character and even the audience, reminding us that Stranger Things trained viewers to look for rules, patterns, and hidden games, and instead of clear answers, the finale gives more rules than ever, leaving one uncomfortable possibility that the story didn't end because the characters won, but because they stopped questioning reality itself, which in a show built on curiosity may be the biggest warning sign of all.